In recent years, the term Black fatigue has emerged to describe a specific, chronic form of exhaustion experienced by Black people as a result of prolonged exposure to systemic racism, microaggressions, and structural inequality. Coined and explored in depth by Mary Frances Winters in her book Black Fatigue, How Racism Erodes the Mind, Body, and Spirit, this term is more than a catchphrase. It reflects a lived reality for millions of individuals whose mental, emotional, and physical health are deeply affected by centuries of racial injustice. Black fatigue is not a temporary condition. Unlike everyday tiredness that can be relieved with sleep or rest, Black fatigue is generational and cumulative. It stems from the enduring impact of slavery, segregation, disenfranchisement, and ongoing systemic barriers in education, housing, employment, and healthcare. The stress of living under these conditions wears on the mind and body in ways that are both subtle and profound. At the core of Black fatigue is the psychological toll of navigating a world where racism is ever present. Black individuals often find themselves in environments where they must code switch, modifying their language, tone, or behavior to avoid being stereotyped or misunderstood. Microaggressions, such as being mistaken for someone less competent, being asked intrusive questions about one's hair or heritage, or being unfairly scrutinized by law enforcement, may seem small in isolation, but when repeated daily, they take a significant toll. These experiences send a constant message that Black lives are undervalued, leading to increased rates of anxiety, depression, and even trauma. The physical health effects of Black fatigue are equally serious. Chronic stress caused by racism has been linked to conditions such as hypertension, heart disease, obesity, and autoimmune disorders. According to numerous studies, Black people in the United States have higher rates of these diseases, and they are often diagnosed later and treated less aggressively. The stress caused by racial discrimination contributes to a weathering effect, where the body ages more quickly due to repeated exposure to stressors. Workplace environments often intensify Black fatigue. Black employees frequently report feeling invisible or hypervisible, ignored during key discussions, yet expected to represent diversity or lead diversity efforts. Many feel pressure to work twice as hard to be seen as competent, while also having to educate coworkers about racial issues. These experiences can lead to professional burnout and disengagement. Teaching children early, a path toward resilience. While it is impossible to shield Black children entirely from the realities of racism, it is both possible and essential to prepare them with tools that may help them avoid internalizing the harm. Teaching a child early on about self-love, cultural pride, and the truth of their history helps build a strong foundation of self-worth. Parents and educators can nurture emotional intelligence, confidence, and critical thinking in young children so they can identify racism when it happens and understand that the problem lies not within them, but in the ignorance of others. Reading books with Black protagonists, celebrating natural hair, skin tone, and cultural heritage, and having open conversations about history and fairness can help children see their identity as powerful rather than something to hide. Teaching mindfulness, journaling, and emotional expression also gives children tools to process their feelings in healthy ways. Most importantly, creating a safe space for children to ask questions and speak openly can make them feel supported and understood, rather than isolated and confused. By raising children who are equipped to name injustice without internalizing it, we can reduce the emotional weight that racism places on their young shoulders. Though we cannot erase racism for them, we can raise them to stand tall in the face of it, without carrying the burden alone. Combating Black fatigue also requires systemic change and individual accountability. Institutions must move beyond performative diversity efforts and address the root causes of inequality. This includes revising hiring and promotion practices, offering support networks for Black employees, implementing anti-racism education, and creating safe spaces for open conversation. On a personal level, non-Black individuals must listen, learn, and act in solidarity, rather than relying on Black colleagues to explain racism. By acknowledging the depth of this exhaustion and working collectively toward equity, healing, and early empowerment, society can begin to dismantle the conditions that give rise to Black fatigue and raise a new generation ready to rise above it.